recording everything.
Oh yeah, I'll do the same. Oh, yeah. Yes. Right. So, okay, we were here in this part.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any question? Oh yeah, we finished with the spare fibers.
Yes, but just I mean, because you have 3 applications.
Yeah.
Okay. Those applications, each one has its own spare rules.
It's possible. Yeah, they can.
Okay, and then when you run the calculation, it aggregates everything together, or it does a separate calculation for each application.
No, it does a separate calculation, but put everything into a single project. You'll see in the outputs that you have fibers for, or let's say not fibers, but application 1, 2, and 3, and all that, splitters for application 1, 2, and 3. So you will see only this. But it will, for example, it will try to put all the spare fibers and everything into a single cable, all the applications.
Okay, for all
At least in this configuration, huh?
For all the applications.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
Right. Okay. So I have. Let me see if I have a. This is, I'm gonna call it FDT, this one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is level 4. Yeah. So yeah, I have my this is in Cascade. The reason for putting this closure is that I want to instead of having single cables going to the central office to the FCP. I remember why I put this.
Yes.
And I want to have a single cable going to this splice closure and going to the different FCPs, because I wanted to limit the number of cables going from the central office. That's why I added an intermediate splice closure level.
Clear. Okay.
Right. So now I'm gonna continue with my my endpoints now that I have finished my my nodes, and I'm going to add an endpoint support. So let's start with the antennas. So I have this. I'm gonna import my layer. So it's called antennas.
Why antennas?
Because in my example, I have a FTTA, fiber to the antenna.
Okay.
So that's a third application, and I need to define which ones are the endpoints for this application.
Okay, clear. So for every application, you create a different endpoint.
Not necessarily. Actually, I have both here. I have both examples here. So I could, because maybe in the same point, that's a strategy that can be possible. But maybe in the same point, imagine you have a building, right? And in building you have apartments, but in this same building you might have I don't know, a supermarket or a bank here, right? So if you need to have a direct fiber that reaches the bank, maybe you could use the same, the same path, and in the same point having a point-to-point connections or point-to-multipoint.
Okay.
But in this example, I have both, and I have in a separate shapefile, I have the antennas. So yeah, that's another.
Okay, let's move on. I understand.
Yeah. So
we understand.
Right. So I have here application 1, 2, and 3. So for the antennas, I'm going to select this application, this number 3. So I have 0. This is GPON, point to point, and I have here, I'm gonna put 1 per location. Application 3. So if I do this, I have 2. You see also that I have, this is important. I have also my topology values. As it is a dense area, maybe I will put here 50 meters, right? So it's the closest hole or manhole. So I'm gonna reduce this distance. If it's a rural area, it's better to put more margin. So
Okay.
if I go here to the map to update the symbology, you see that my antennas are here at the top of this building and here.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm gonna continue with the other ones. So I can I'm gonna import my buildings. So I have here an endpoint support, and I'm gonna import buildings. So it's buildings 2, I think. Let me see which layer. Yeah, building points 2. This is the one I post process. Yeah, this is the right one. So I have here, I can add a name, external ID. So for example, if you have the endpoints layer and you have the postal code or something, you can add it here as well.
Can we add fields there in the data attributes?
No, these are by default. These ones you can only import 2 for referencing the nodes. Yeah.
But I cannot add additional ones.
No. There are 2. Yeah, only 2 like this.
Okay.
If you use all these, for example, these usable fibers, spare fibers affect the routing, the calculation, right? Also the parent node. So I have here terminations or application 1 in this layer of buildings. I have these attributes. In endpoints, I have my point to multipoint, right? And in my application 2, I have the point-to-point premises, as I explained in the.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously no antennas, and I click on OK here. And in the topology, yeah, maybe I will put here also 50 because it's a very dense area to make sure it will select the closest one. So if I go to the map again, okay, close this map. You see here, I have, these are my houses, and I'm gonna select one. Network endpoints. No, yeah. This is my input data network endpoints and network nodes. So if I select network endpoints, you see building points. And if I select it, I select one, you see that I have a application. So I have 20, this is a large building. I have 20 premises for my GPON. Okay. So, right. So I have this. And I have finished my FDT. Maybe yeah, that's okay. I could probably, because I think I have a large buildings, I will increase a bit than the maximum, or maybe 32. Yeah, so I make sure that I have most of the time only one node per building.
But don't you need to add the target increase the target as well?
You could. I can say, well, I rather have 16 maximum, but yeah, I can increase it to 32. Another thing that you can do is this option. When you select this option, this is collocate with endpoints if at least. This is for the case when I imagine I have an area with some buildings and I want to place my splitter, my FDT in the building, right, the basement. So you can say automatically, well, place it when you have 20 terminations by default, right? So let's do this.
Hang on for 1 second. דימה, calculate with endpoint if at least, זה אומר שאתה שם FDT בתוך בניין, אם יש לפחות 20 חיבורים.
Если как минимум 20 фигурин в здании, ты ставишь FDT, ты ставишь внутрь.
הוא מחבר לבניין, לא ברחוב ולתוך הבניין.
Если 20 фигурин абонентов, ты ставишь на биньян, не на улице.
Ну, как вот я делал, только я делал, если больше 4.
Окей, у вас יותר מ4 ועכשיו זה יותר מ20 בעצם?
זה עוד תכלית של
זה אפשר לעשות.
כן, קונפיגורציה. Let's continue, thanks.
הבנתי.
Okay. Is it clear this part?
We're fine.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So
Hang on. What is extend the service areas upstream?
okay, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I'm gonna select this option. So these options, this is this has to do with this option. So for the clustering, when you select upstream, imagine you have, I say maximum 32 houses, right? So I have some houses here, and I'm gonna group my clusters up to 32. I'm not having any maximum distance here, so up to 32. So if I say upstream, the FDT will be placed in the upstream to the network, the first punctual infrastructure, a manhole or pole in the cluster.
Okay. And then you just make drops to each and every building.
Exactly. So the drops could be maybe like this, you know, following the aerial line, for example, right?
That works very well for micro duct on rural.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed.
That's not relevant for us. Okay.
Although in some cases when you well, yeah, if it's new civils, yeah, it doesn't matter. But if it's a civils, existing ducts, maybe there's some you gotta be careful because there might be some other fibers within the duct, and you have to limit the number of fibers, right? So what you do in that case, maybe it's in center, right? You have the same endpoints, so 24, right? You create your cluster, but then you put your sorry, you have here your endpoints, you create your cluster, and you put your node in the center.
Oh.
Right? So this is what you do when you select center.
Optimization. Okay.
Я точно так же делаю, только я от центра ищу ближайший стол.
Good.
Yeah. So this could work. Yeah. For example, for existing ducts, what it is may is like doing this. You will have maximum two cables on this side, right? Rather than having 4, right?
Correct.
This option, this is used when, for example, you have well, center except at the end of the line, because you might want to limit your distribution cable. So you can imagine that you have all the cluster like this, you have another cluster, but when you reach the final line, you might want to have your upstream node here, having your final cluster, and limit the distribution cable. Right, so you can save some meters, right? For the case of this one is, remember, for the upstream, you have your cluster and you put your node here. The upstream, that means that you don't move the node here, but you rather serve the houses that are on this side. So it's like, imagine this is more used when you have a limit of distance, because perhaps if you say, well, I'm gonna connect the houses when I have 150 meters upstream. So I put my node, I have 150 upstream, but maybe in those 150 upstream, I have 10 houses. So it's not really optimal.
The optimization.
Ну да, יש שני קלאסטרים,
נו, בסוף של הזה אתה יכול לשים בקצה במקום באמצע כדי לחסוך כבל. אוקיי, we're fine.
Okay. So this is 150. You would choose the ones that are here, for example.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. Although as this is a dense area, this will be filled really quickly. So yeah. Yeah, let's select the centered option. Okay, good. All right, so I have finished my architecture. And now I'm going to continue with the cable. So for the cabling, I'm going to project.
You need to save.
Yeah, indeed, very good. Yes, and I saved my rules. That's perfect. Plus, you are connected to the VPN, so it's recommendable to save it quiet frequently.
Open.
Right? So
yeah. דימה לעשות סייב הרבה.
בקיוגיס כל דבר
יש
מתי שרוצים.
קיוגיס נעד סייב.
Let's continue.
Okay, so here for my cables, I have this rule by default, and I'm gonna add specific rules per level. So here I can say, well, level 2, level 1, level 2. So if I say level 2 is within between the central office and the SC.
Okay.
So I need to select level 2 for defining the cables that will go between these two nodes.
Okay.
Sorry. So right. So for example, I can leave and I can select my equipment database. So which closures I'll use. So maybe I'm gonna use here for this feeder part these large cables, right? Maybe 288 and 144. This is too much. Well, and maybe I will select here midspan or branch joints. So depending on the case, Star will select the most suitable option.
Okay.
And here for the cables, I'm going to select for the feeder part the same ones. So you got to be careful, because if you select for example a cable of 288 and you don't have a closure that can deal with this cable, and you run it, the system will tell you, okay, you need a good equipment, a proper equipment for this case. Right, so okay, right, so we have this. I'm gonna put other rules for my level 3. So this is between the no, it's okay. Oh yeah, here you can also put specific rules per type of infrastructure. For example, if you want to use up to 72 fibers for the aerial infrastructure, you can add this rule and select up to 72, right? Also per type of node, if it's an FCP or something, you can also select this constraint. So we put a rule, and for my third level, maybe I will select only 144 and 72 fibers, right? And closure, the same. I want to use either branch or midspan joints. And I need to select which cables for this part. So let's select this one, 96, 72, and 48. I don't know if, well, you do have a large equipment database, right? That you can select with.
Yes.
Select. Okay. Number 4, right? This would be for my distribution. I'll do the same. And I will select from 72.
Okay.
And yeah, the same for the cable, 72. 48, 36, 24, and 12. Right? So this would be for the FCP, FDT. Now for the drops, level 10, I don't need because this is a point-to-point connection, but I will select these cables here. So maybe because imagine I have a building of 20 premises. Maybe I can select 2, 4, or 6, or 12, even 12.
Okay.
Right? For the drop connections, and start with select the most suitable one. And you see that the price is the same, so it would rather, I mean, if you have 20 or 12, we would prefer to use one of 12 than do 2 of 6. So, right, and you do this, and you have your, yes, you have your cabling. And I say, is this clear? This part?
Almost. When you're saying available equipment and you're talking about drops, I would have expected a different closure for S2 splitters.
כן, ב-level 10 שם רק כבל דרופ, לא?
I didn't see on level 4 the splitters.
It's here. When the equipment or the closure is in level. For example, if FCP, FDT, this splitter is for the destination.
This is the cables, okay.
These are the closures.
The closure the cable.
Okay, but where do I have the FDT with the splitter for the drop?
Okay, so I have here level 4, and from here my level 10, right? In this FDT level 4, I will place a closure of 48 or 72, depending on the case. I define the closure, and the splitter, I define it here in my FDT dimensioning splitter. So
okay.
Here,
hang on. Let me post a question to you. We have a design rules that says that we have a closure on every pole where we put an FDT, and we make a cable connection from the closure to the FDT, and then do the drops from the FDT to the homes. So in essence, there are 2 boxes on every pole. And the reason is that we don't want the technicians to open closures with splitters in order to do splices and connect. We want to have a separate access between the distribution and the drops.
Okay. In that case,
how do we do that?
Yeah, in that case, I would think of perhaps adding a level 5 with the same rules, but except I will put only splitters there. So you could, yeah, exactly. You might want to have, a box for the splices and another box for the splitters.
Correct.
Although, yeah, exactly. because here in the equipment, when you export the data, if you don't put any cable, and it's if you don't have any splice, you don't need to add any equipment. So if you put level 5, that could be the case. You have level 4 with a closure, level 5 with a node without any equipment, but only you place the splitters, and then you have level 10. So we can try this in a we can try this in another configuration. I'll call it later Netanya 2.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Now let's
Yeah.
continue with your route. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I have this, and now I'm gonna open the network optimization. And here is where I can define the rules for the priorities and all that. By default, you'll see cost effectiveness using actual costs. But as I mentioned, when you select priority, you can say, well, if you select it as general rule, you have either roads or aerial. So yeah, generally you don't put the priority here, because it makes no sense to have different supports if you want to have one priority. What you can do later is to say, well, I'm gonna add for my level 2 for the feeder part. For example, for level 2, I can add a priority and say, well, this is the roads, for example. And from the then from the central office to the road would be priority 1.
Okay.
You can also say, for example, if I select cost effectiveness using virtual cost, this is the what I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
So you can have roads and aerial here. So this is a fixed cost, variable cost. So this is the virtual cost that you add. By default, you see this is 50 and 50. Actually, I didn't change this. If I put here in 20, I think I put 20 here. So this is cheaper in theory. If I do this, well, yeah, I need to delete. Maybe if I select it again. Level 2. And I put aerial, roads, and aerial here.
Yeah,
You see that now it's 20.
Yeah.
Right? So I can change this and say, well, for level 2, I will put this, like maybe 100. And if I were in this case, I would prioritize. I will prioritize this the roads.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
The variable cost is per meter.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and yeah, just to show you this docs and microdocs, well, you don't use this technology, but in any case, this is where you might select in this window, the roads and aerial, and which docs I allow to be used for every single infrastructure. But well,
It's too
okay.
fast for me. Like, okay. Duct. In roads we have ducts. In aerial we don't.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. What is support A and B? And affinity?
Affinity is, for example, if there's a transition between roads and aerial, which type of rule you'd like to use, because you imagine you have underground, you have a pole, and this transition,
Transition.
you say, well, I rather use, imagine if I use a whole duct of, I don't know,
The aerial.
yeah, 1 to 5, and
Transition
here,
Aerial. Как 17
so which affinity? So if I find this case, which one I'd like to use? Underground or aerial, or from which support? Right?
From the right side or from the left side?
The thing is that I didn't, maybe we can do this because I didn't specify any microducts. So for the sake of
forget it. If no microducts, let's move on. We don't use it.
Okay, well, okay. So, right, so now that I have this, if I open the map, you see I have endpoints, antennas, building points, network nodes. For the moment, come on. For the moment, I have central office. I have the other ones, but are not placed. And I have as input data, functional infrastructures, reusable pathways, asset connections. So you see all the connections that I created automatically every time I configure as the system, for example, central office antennas and all that.
Okay.
Service areas, I have, well, only level 1 because it's the only node that it exists. And the other layers are output layers. So let's see, we can run. And let's see if it works. I'm gonna save it. And let's see.
Now you are still in the configuration file, and now you're running a project, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm gonna click here, compute automated design. And let's see what we get.
But for which territory? Where did Okay, everything that you uploaded.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't do a polygon, you just let it run on everything that is up there.
The polygon, yeah, we don't polygons are not used as input data in star, only lines and points. But when
I understand. But if I want to run now the same optimization on half the city, I need to do a polygon.
You need to have to run it with other area. Let's say if you want to run it here, you select the respective input roads and the OLT roads and IRL line, and you run it here. For example.
For example, for the data that you already uploaded, if I wanted to have only half of what you uploaded, let's say in the right half, then I need to I want to select only the right half, yeah, and run optimization only on that. What I need to recreate a project with a new config file?
No, we actually that's a good example. We're gonna we can do that. I'm gonna run it.
Hang on. Let's move on with your training and then go in. Okay.
No, but yeah, that's actually important. I wanted to show you that, but this is a good example, right? So I'm gonna run it, and yeah, let's see if I didn't make any mistake. This is an area of roughly 1,000 endpoints.
Yeah,
I think less. Yeah. You see that? So it's placing the SC, right? So I have it's ready. Okay.
building data.
Okay.
Okay.
So
the lower
What do we see here?
Yes, so here I have my SCs are here, related here. If I show you the polygons,
Yes.
so for example, level 2, I have different polygons. Voronoi network, these are overlap, but most of the time when you have dense area, you use the Voronoi. And if I select here premises, I have the number of premises that each one is serving.
Okay. What is forward? What did you?
Ворона, זה פוליגונים, ככה מגיע road.
לאורך הכבישים.
יש net.
המתמטיקה היא
Okay.
Yeah, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was the name of a mathematician, and right? Yeah, so it's a type of data or something, or algorithm. So you see that the areas are not overlapping. So
Yes, so the areas are cut according to the roads.
Yeah, exactly. Serving these premises.
Yes. Okay.
So I can share. I can show also the general name. So you have here the SC. This naming is given by star, and you can configure the naming rules here.
Right.
I forgot to mention. Configure the different rules.
Wait, how did you enter that? I'm sorry.
naming convention.
Info.
Project rule. Naming convention.
Sorry. Project. Naming rules.
Yes. Okay.
And then here.
Yes.
So you can define the nodes and the hierarchy, and also the endpoints, the pathways, access structures, and the cables, closures, and all that.
Yeah.
So if I So for example, you see that here I have node name. So this is support, and I have 3 hashtag, and I have 3 numbers. So SC, this is my support, right?
Yeah.
Number 007.
Okay.
So if I select now FCP,
This is a closure.
yeah, that's maybe I'm gonna change the symbology of this central office because it's the same.
Closure גם מכיל את ה-FCP.
FCP is zona.
It's a concentration point here, so where I place my first splitter.
Okay.
Service. FDT זה גם זונה. S2. אני אסיק closure ראש.
אנחנו נעשה התאמות פה, מה שצריך. נשמור על קונבנציה.
So this is very nice. Can we see now the polygons for the other zones, please?
Yes, I'm about to do that. So
Okay.
if I have the FCPs,
Yes.
אפשר להחליף סטיל, כן?
Yeah.
you see them here.
Yes.
They are placed upstream. So premises, and you see that they have 252, 201. So it's it also, the service areas are obviously linked to the upstream and downstream nodes as well. And the last one, the FDTs. Maybe this is better if I also show the reusable pathways. Yeah. So you see that some of them are on poles, and some are on buildings. So level 4. You see, so these are my my nodes, my cluster.
Okay, so no, okay.
As you say, because these are tall buildings, you put on in them an S2 splitter.
כן, כן, יש מקום ששמים את זה. זאת אומרת, מעל לקוחות לתוך הבניין.
Okay.
For example, I put here in minimum 20 to put it on the building.
Yes.
And you see here, I have 21. So here's the FDT.
Right. So
Here's 19. So
minimum 20, and it's mandatory to collocate the building with
Yeah.
ברגע שעברת לזה, מתחת לא, מעל כן. זה בסדר.
So if I show the cables, let's see this cable, for example. I have 2 cables, and right click, I have 2 cables of 12, right? That are reaching this building.
So you would want a 24.
למה דאבו? למה פה שני כבלים 12?
Why do you have 2 cables instead of 1?
Because I have 16 premises, and my maximum cable here was 12.
Okay.
Right?
אבל שם יש איפה
So if you added
20, שם שם צריך לשים קופסאות וקליפים, אבל למה כבלים 24 צריך?
Good question. Yes. If the splitter is in the house, in the building, why do I need all these cables?
Why do you need all these cables? The splitter is not here.
It's not there.
The splitter is here. For this house.
So what is the topic of collocation? The collocation is only for what? It's not even splicing. It's splicing.
No, אז הוא שם אותו ברחוב. זה לפעמים, מכניס את הפנימה.
Sorry, yes, for the 16, I understand. The 16 is taking this from the pole, and the 22 has a separate S2.
Yeah.
So the cable it should be a small cable, right? For the building, for the whole building.
I'm gonna select this. You have 3 features. Right click.
Yeah.
I have 12 fiber that reach the building, and I have, you see, this is like a circle. These are the vertical, so to speak, cables, right? That go from the FDT to the premises. You see?
But if you click only on the line that on the drop to goes to a 22, what cable is that?
12.
Only the drop.
Yeah. Only 12.
But this is not the drop.
No.
The drops are inside the house.
So כמה ספליטרים?
How many splitters do you have in the 22?
Okay. So the splitters, I need to select.
כמה ספליטרים עכשיו?
Yeah, he will tell us. There'll be many splitters there.
Right. So the splitters, remember, this is input layer, but the splitters and all the network calculation and all that are in this bundle network sections. And you have here net nodes. In net nodes, if I select this element, I have one feature. I have this is you see 48 equipment. This is the closure, and I have 22 premises serving this node, and I have 3 splitters of 1 to 8.
למה כבלים אם שם 3 ספליטרים? למה שם 3 כבלים?
No. Did you define in the ruling for the distribution cable as minimum cable 12? What did you define there in the rule for distribution cables? Can you show us, please?
Rule is shown.
Level 4, yeah, this one.
So the minimum is 12. The minimum that we defined is 12. This is why.
Yeah.
level 4 צריך level 10.
On level 10, what cables did you put?
Yeah.
2464.
Yes.
It's fine.
But level 10
למה
is
שלוש כבלים 12?
איפה ראית 3?
בבית. שלושה פליטרים.
3 פליטרים בתוך זה.
ושלוש כבלים 12.
There is a question here on the house with the 22 premises.
with the 3 splitters.
With the 3 splitters, there are 3 cables that are coming in. Here?
22
How many? That's where you have the marker. How many cables go into that house?
Into the house from the.
Yeah.
Into the building.
into the building.
Okay, so if I select here, 3 feeders, I have 1 cable of 12. This is for the level 4, and you have 1 cable of 12, 1 cable of 12. You see that the circle here? Have a look. This is like a vertical connection, so to speak.
No, I don't understand why we have 3. We should have seen only 1 connecting.
We have because
we have 3 splitters, so I'm using only 3 fibers within a cable. So I don't need 3 cables.
no, you have no. Okay. Yes, you have.
You said something about risers in the building, but maybe it's not.
This is a pole. This is a building. My FDT is located here in the basement. My 12 fiber cable for distribution goes, well, whatever this way.
Yes.
And I have, as I have 22 endpoints, I need, and my available cables are 12. I need 2 cables, vertical cables, to serve my 22.
Okay. So 2 of the cables that you show us are actually drop cables. They are not distribution cables.
The green ones.
Can we see in the report only distribution without the drop? When you click on the network element.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Or can I see in the report that 2 are drop and 1 is distribution?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
נכון. לא, אתה רואה גם את אלה.
אתה רואה גם וגם וגם.
את כולם, כן. נכון, אבל אני רוצה שהוא יראה לי בריפורט שהם נראים אחרת, שהסימון שלהם אחר.
זה בעיה, לא?
Let's export the results.
Okay, but
before exporting, I wanted to show you something else, but yeah, you can export.
אני יכול edit גם.
לא צריך שתמחוק עוד כלום, חכה, אנחנו עוד לא יודעים איך זה עובד, רגע.
Daniel, we're listening to you. Daniel, we're listening to you. Please show us.
Okay. Is this part clear?
The part with the drawing, yes, that's clear. Now we want to see how it's in the reporting.
Okay. Well, in the report, I will show you when I export. Actually, I can. No, because if I export it, I can show you the map. But before I export it, the splice plan and all that, I will show you some more layers. Okay. So now you understand why I have 3 splitters of 1 to 8, right?
Yes.
Good. This layer, net pathways. If I select, for example, this segment, this is from one punctual infrastructure to another punctual infrastructure. You see here which cable or cables are going through?
Yes, 1 cable 12, yes.
Exactly. And here, this is aerial. So this is important because it tells you the amount of infrastructure that is used per infrastructure port, right? So you can say here, all the segments that are aerial are new or basic infrastructure, you know, you can tag them from here. On that pathways. Yeah. And another thing in maybe endpoints, if I select one endpoint, So connection, it's connected to an aerial infrastructure, the cost, whatever. I don't have a name here. Where did I put that? I think I put the name in the central office, right?
Yes, you did not.
No, I didn't. I don't remember where we put it. Well, anyway. So yeah, you can retrieve this info here. So so these are important output layers. What else? Now, net splice closures. This is the layer. And if I select, for example, this element, I see here two features. If I select one element, you see it's an aerial, the type of equipment, the model number, this is the 48 closure. And you have also the type, it's a joint, right? It's not a midspan, but it's a branch joint, this one. And you can see it because there's an FDT here, and from here you have midspan joints coming, or yeah, coming this out.
No.
Okay. Now I'm gonna export the results. So if I do this, I will create first my. I'm gonna put output, right? So I created my output folder. I'm gonna select that and export. You see here, this is the real. Oh yeah, it's already here. Output. No. Okay. Here are the possible reports that I can, or layers that I can export. So I'm gonna export all of them. The GIS, network nodes, network endpoints, network pathways, feeder distribution, network lines. Some of them are auxiliary layers for having other uses. So, for example, you see that here I have pathway access structures, and I have all reusable pathways, available pathways. So this is all the input data, and this is the data that was actually used.
Okay.
And let's export the summary report. This is the one by default. Cabling diagram. For the cabling diagram, I'm gonna export it, but except level 10 because it's gonna take a lot of time. There are more than 700 endpoints. Right, so maybe I'll put up to level 4. Right? No, we don't have docs, fiber connectivity. Yeah, that's useful for the importing to other systems. Splicing plan. Here you can select if you want to print the light path, the drop, or not. And also if you want to use a template for a color code. Okay, so if you have a color code template, you can import it as well.
What's the difference between print and drop in the light path?
I will show you that. The thing is that sometimes when you have the drops, and imagine you have an area with 600 houses, it's hard to read sometimes the report, you know, when you have all these cables going to the premises.
Okay.
Right, so sometimes people just, or you know, operators, they only care about the distribution part, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, now I will show you this. And the link budget report.
Yeah.
Splicing and fiber connectivity as well.
Okay, sure. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it's if you export the drop connections for the cabling diagram, it's gonna take hours. Well, I don't say hours, but a lot.
It's fine. I mean, I have no issues with the time it takes. It's just it just means that we need a strong computer.
Yeah, as well. That's useful.
A question. מה זה בעיות יש בתוכנה, ואם יש בעיה, מה לעשות?
There was a question. What errors and problems should we expect while running, and what do we do when we hit such of those problems?
Okay. If you have what problems you might expect based on from my experience, maybe the equipment that you configure is not the right one. For example, you could say, well, I want to use a 48 fiber cable, but I select a splice closure up to 24, right? So that could be an issue. Also, if you have a problem with the with some result, you can always send us a ticket to the support system, and we can analyze it and give you an answer, or maybe set up a call to have a look together.
So you expect us to open the fresh desk and open a ticket there, upload the files, and expect a response.
Exactly. So yeah, we are quite reactive. So yeah. Yeah, let me see here. I'm gonna look for folder. Right, you see that these are the outputs. So I can show you already the summary report. So and these are the shapefiles. So this is the summary report. By default, is it? Yeah. So BOQ, BOM, for example, you have this. Great. I forgot to configure the which part is a feeder. I forgot that.
Okay.
That's huge. Yeah, another error you can expect, by the way. So I will tell you how to do it. Right.
Do cancel, no?
Yeah, I can. Well, but yeah, I can show you the splice line in any case.
Just so you forgot the feeder part to configure.
The feeder is only, I mean, it's only a tag for the network. I mean, you will have the layer, but you won't have the tag that is at the feeder part. It won't change the line. So this is the cabling diagram. So for example, you have here wait, cable. Yeah, this is the root, but this is the first node. Then our patch panel, you have cable 1. So you have used fibers, spare. There's 0 spare because we didn't define spare fibers here. That this only means that there are 170. Yeah, used.
Yes.
But there are 118 that are not used from that cable.
Correct.
But they are not necessarily spare fibers. They are just available. You can use them, but they're not reserved for the future. So here you have this box. You have cable 1. And these are the different tubes. Okay, so you have 3 of them are spliced, 1 of them is passed through, and the output cable is 288. This one, you see, it's a midspan. It's not a midspan; it's the same cable, but it's only 1 tube that goes here, and the rest of them are going to the south. Well, not to the south, I mean to the, let's see here. Yeah, here.
The exit file.
Yeah. Right, so you have cable 2, for example.
Pass-throughs, pipelines.
Yeah. Cable 2 is also coming from the OLT. Yeah.
Coming from the OLT 144, which
Yeah.
is going to...
למה הכל ספרד?
כי לא צריך. יש כל כך הרבה שהוא לא שומר, אבל לא הגדיר שם. לא הגדיר ספרד. אבל יש לך הרבה.
טוב, ואתה רואה כמה כבלים צעירים. כמה בתים פה. כמה בתים וכמה...
לא פה אתה לא רואה בתים, זה עוד לא בתים.
נו, כמה אפרטמנטס.
Hang on, the Excel, what you see here in the Excel is the cable splicing. This is not houses yet.
כן, כן.
This is the cabling diagram.
Calculated.
This is a splice line.
דוגמה, אבל כמה בתים יש.
Do you have a summary on this Excel of how many houses connected, how many cables and everything? Here,
How
yeah.
many houses are in this project?
מה זה עוד דיאגרם?
No, hang on.
אוקיי.
אותו 12,500. Okay.
The building points is בניינים או דירות?
בניינים.
points, and points זה...
You have endpoints, which are the building points, hang on.
Yeah.
The termination is apartment.
Termination זה apartment.
Yeah, I forgot to change the name, but yeah, it comes from this layer.
Right, but we can change the name to apartments, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is buildings?
No, building points 2 is apartment.
No.
Yes.
Building point, you actually loaded 609 elements. These are the buildings.
Yeah, those are the buildings, and the premises, the apartments or
Yes.
point-to-point sites are within the buildings. So I have the points, and here the total number of premises.
כן, זה מה שהוא...
כן, זה נכון.
בסדר. Dima already checked on with his fingers and he's saying that the calculation is correct.
I'm sorry?
Good. So we saw the cable connectivity. Let's see the splicing diagram.
Yeah. This is the splice line. So this is N01. This is the first SC1. And you see here the splice. So this is the first splice closure. So you have the cables, they go into this here you have the tubes. You have the fibers per tube, And then, well, you have the output cables.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
If I go to the previous node, because I have this this one, this is the cabinet diagram. So this is the cable. This is a cable one. This is 288. If I remember well. Yeah. So these are the fibers. How the fibers are going to go to the destination node. So for example, the last FDT. So fiber 1, the destination would be node 001, 001, this one. This is the FDT.
Okay.
And
This is backtracking from level 4 up to the OLT.
exactly.
ממש?
לא, זה זה FDT ו-1. 1623 זה מספר כבלים.
1623 זה מספר FDT.
זה הכל מספר FDT.
זה מספר FDT.
הכבלים.
כל זה הכבל. Hang on for 1 second. Hang on. So the fucking on the screen. It's a cable. Can you just select cable 0001_01? So we see only that.
This one.
Yeah. On the cable selection. On the cable selection.
The destination.
On the map.
No, not on the map.
Do the filtering.
Just filter the cable selection. On cable selection for the specific cable.
Wait, here.
Yeah, on this one,
but
yeah.
lower. The filter is lower.
No, you have cable selection. You have filter already set there.
Okay, let's do something. Can you control the
87 on 87.
Hang on. I will control it.
okay, 1 second. So Shai, right?
User.
User. Okay. Oh, sorry. I cannot hear you. I deactivated.
You put me on mute.
Yeah, my bad. I clicked on the wrong button. Can you ask permission for controlling my?
Yeah, I requested. Please approve.
There you go.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
Це фільтри.
רגע. This is cable 1. Okay?
Yeah, cable.
Okay, hang on.
כל położeniem jest
You see tray? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, patch panel. This is tube 1, tube 2, tube 3, tube 4, tube 5, tube 6, etc. And this is
Tube 15 from fiber 3 to 16 by 2.
this is tube 15. What is it exactly?
Tube 15 third fiber up to tube 16 fiber second fiber.
Okay. Cross.
פה.
עכשיו, אם אני...
טיובה.
טוב, זה פייברים. זה, אם אני שם פה, זה טוב 15, זה פייבר 3. זה הולך לטוב 16, פייבר 2. אוקיי? עכשיו אם אתה הולך פה, בוא נגיד, נשים לו הכל.
טוב, איפה כבל...
רגע.
זה כבל אחד, איפה אחרת כבל.
רגע. וכבל 2, כבל 3. עכשיו אני אעשה אוקיי בחזרה. רגע. תקן. זה בפאץ' פאנל, הולך לטריי, fiber, tube 1,
תובן כבל, מי זה כבל?
tube 1, fiber 1,
כבל אחד, כן?
כן,
איפה כבל אחר?
הנה פה, כבל 3, כבל 3, כבל 2, כבל 2.
אני לא מבין איך שיטה את זה.
הוא לא מבין איך לקרוא את זה.
רגע, אז הנה סקונדה. מה שאתה רואה פה,
רגע.
זה destination, כן?
זה destination, זה end destination FDT.
FDT splitter.
Yeah, no destination.
S2, S2, מחובר לפה. FDT ספליטר, זה S2, לא, יותר עד הסוף. זה אומר לך בחזרה, שאתה, when you are looking, you are turning off fiber 3 on tube 13 or whatever. When you're turning this one off,
This
hang on, on the OLT, where did I go?
זה. חלק שונה, פה גם אותו דבר.
איפה הלכתי? I clicked on that and this is 1623. This is what? This is the last FDT, right?
This is yeah, this is one FDT. Yeah.
This is the last FDT. עשיתי קליק, הגעתי, זה כבר בבניין.
The last FDT, I'm not sure. Maybe not. You have here cable 62 that is coming here. Okay, so this is the FCP. So then it goes to these other ones.
We need to understand how to read this.
Yeah, this is the node. This is the parent node. This is the previous. This is the FCP.
No,
This is
the ST. This is
the current FCP FDT is this one, and from this FDT there's another one that is going to this another FDT downstream.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how it works. So okay, so there are actually two fibers passed through.
Okay.
If I go here to this one, you see, I think this is the final one. You see, there are no other FDTs. This is the final FDT in this line.
זה לא, זה ככה closure. כן? לא.
זה FDT,
זה עכשיו FDT?
כן.
And here's the splitter. SP01.
עוד ספליטר.
אוקיי.
אוקיי, וואו.
אוקיי.
אין, לא. זה לא ספליטר. אחרת, closure אחרת.
Just to be clear, this is a closure with splitters.
Yes.
אם ככה, SP זה ספליטר קורה.
זה ספליטר בתוך הקלוזר.
כן. אם אין 0.1.16.37, זה לא. Connected the node.
This is a splitter of 1 to 8. And then you connect the house. This is a drop cable.
Okay. זה כבר כבל שהולך לדירוס, זה הדרופ.
בגדול, צריך תסתכל.
In essence, we understand there's going to be a lot of back and forth here to really clear and understand, especially when we want to do separation between the closure, the closures and the splitters, so we can have, you know, an SC and then an FTT on the level 4 and 5. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's we need to think on how to configure this, but yeah, that's I think it's possible to have another level and only place a splitter there.
Okay. So this goes, if I click here, it goes to the first one. This is the first one. Okay.
אותי
זה כן.
פה יש עכשיו ספליטר, מקובה ספליטר.
כן.
זה נוח.
כן. The splittering, what is stock?
Those are, let's say, dead fibers.
Dead fiber, okay.
Yeah, the black ones. The pass through in white, they follow the line, but those are dead fibers basically.
Okay.
Dead fibers.
So I'm saying I see mid-span join, 8 trays, 240 subscribers served from this one.
Yeah, from this FCP. Yeah.
Yeah, there are 35 splices in this mid-span joint. 3 coiled tubes. What does it mean? Pass through.
I think these are the tubes in the cable. There are three of them. Perhaps I need to check the manual, but I think it's a case. I'll look in the user manual.
These are the pass-through, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
It's the blue, the green, and the red, and the yellow. These are the 3 cold ones.
Yeah.
ממשיך. זה לא השמטה, זה מה שאתה מגלגל וממשיך הלאה. Okay? And then I have here the cables that are connecting to that box. And I see that the cables connecting with 36, 312, okay. The length of the cables that are going continuing. I see 0 meter.
Yeah.
That is going where I don't know. Let's see, the 1614.
It's likely that there's an FDT in the same location as this FCP.
Hang on, let's see. This is the joint, 19 subscribers, 19 splices, 3 trays. And it's coming here, it's FDT in the same location. And then we have 2 drop lines going. Okay.
Yeah, they're in the same location.
זה כאילו, זה FDT ספליטר לדרופים. נסתו.
למה?
כי הוא יושב, הוא מחובר לקלוז'ר עם מרחק 0, אוקיי? ומפה, 0 מטר, זה כאילו עוד אחד באותו מקום. שניים, אחד ליד השני, כמו שאמרנו שנעשה.
טוב. אבל בתקנה שם אנחנו לא רואה.
אפשר לראות. Can you see this specific node on the map?
Yeah. 01, 06, 14. Yeah.
You take the helm now.
Okay. Where? Okay.
Okay. So it's that's an FDT, right? So yeah, level 4, element ID 101, 06, 014, right?
Yes.
רק ככה? אין פיל?
This one, right?
תסתכל שם, ככה אתה רוצה.
Yep, this one. Here.
So what else do we have in that point?
Let's see. So we have two features.
Two
Yeah.
features.
An
That's
FCP
it.
and an
Okay.
okay.
That's why you have 0 meters for this node.
Understood.
בוא נראה עוד פעם, תסתכלים תוכנה באקסל.
את מה? את המפה?
מפה.
את הכבל או את
כבל וטייבלים.
הכבל כאילו, הבטרפליי כאילו. Can you reopen please the Excel for the map, for the cable map?
אני יכול להסתכל ככה פינט שם נוט. אני רוצה תסתכל ככה אפשר שם מצאתי נודים. Ну, хочу посмотреть, как найти там этот нод.
הוא רוצה לראות איך הוא מחפש שם את הנודים.
Okay. Let's see the Excel map for the cable.
The cabling diagram. Okay. Do you want to look for the same node?
No, I want just to look at the cabling diagram. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we do a search here based on just cables? We don't have the names of the FDTs or whatever.
Oh yeah, we have them here.
Control F.
Yeah, but
באקסל. זה אותו דבר ככה אקסל.
yeah, go ahead, try it if you want.
I'm typing on the wrong computer, and
Okay, yeah.
014. Let's see what it is. So
every time you
Control V.
no, נסתכל כאילו.
טוב, הבנתי.
הולך, מוצא. אין בעיה. סופר. Okay. You got the confirmation. Let's continue.
Great. Yeah, so to show you how to define, because I forgot, define the meter.
Before we move to another view, maybe you can answer another question. This view now that you show, right, with the S2 clusters, can you show me the buildings on the same view?
Street view, yeah. Here. I don't know if there's a. Let me connect with my data. So 1 second. Oh, great. I need to connect to my account. 1 second. All right. So here it is.
No, I didn't mean street view. I wanted to see that the S2 clusters are covering all the buildings.
Ah, okay. Yes.
These are not S2 clusters.
I'm sorry, S2. What is that?
Yes.
What are S2 FDTs?
FTP.
Okay.
Yeah, but I need to see the buildings. Where are the buildings?
שם שלושה ספליטרים, שם הרבה אפרטמנט. ושתיים זונה. זה זונה FDT. זה נכון.
Yes, but I need to see the buildings.
מה אתה רוצה לראות?
את הבניין, את הקונטור של הבניין.
אין לו פה, האם יש לך מפה, אתה רואה?
You mean this?
Yeah, what I'm basically looking for are buildings which are not covered.
פה יש ספליטרים, שתיים, ופה גם יש.
Yes, but I want to see that there are no buildings that are not covered by this analysis.
You can see that here. There's one building that is not covered, and we can have a look at it. Net endpoints, symbology, unique values, connection status. Connection status. 9, that means they're connected. 0, it's not connected. Okay, so if I take the cables out, this is the one that is not connected, you see?
אין חיבור. לא יגיע, לא היה מחוץ לחור, אלא יותר מ-50 מטר, לפחות מזה.
Yeah, this is very important for us to know what is not included, because the ministry is going to search for these.
Yeah, and the reason for this is because you see the distance to the any.
אולי שם אין משתמש.
לא, רחוק מדי.
רחוק?
To a pole or a potential manhole, it surpasses the maximum capacity distance I put in the.
אמרנו 50, יש 70.
כן, כן.
אוקיי.
Yeah, we understand that. So how do we deal with such a situation?
Well, there are two ways. Let's see here.
You said we increased the rule. We increased from 50 meters to 150 meters.
Yeah, you could. Another way could be, let's see how many endpoints I have here. So, I have, no, in building, sorry, in input, I have 17 premises. Maybe there's no space left, right? Because all of here I have only FDTs. I'm gonna put an FDT for this node, okay? So maybe I have some line of sight here. I'm gonna put it here.
Okay.
So FDT create here. I'm gonna call it FDT manual 001. I select my node, my point, assign to parent node. This one here, drag and drop, right click, set as parent. You see that now?
Yes.
Okay. But I'm gonna create a single interconnection. So from here,
Регенерации.
commit aerial. And if I say here, if I check here, asset connections, building points to aerial, I have my connection that I created, you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's run.
Это reload, full frame.
Oops.
So, yep, here it is.
Mhm.
Now it's connected. If I select, you see net endpoints
Mhm.
and status 9 is connected.
Okay.
Yep. So that's how it works a bit. Now, if I want to save my design, save as SDProj project, save. Yeah, I want to replace it, and I'm gonna save the project, the calculation, because if I save it and I keep it as an SD config, I won't keep the manual modifications or the calculation made by the software.
Okay.
It's only the rules. Okay.
Okay.
So you save it now as a project and as rules.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Manual.
what about
Можно там тобой.
what about if I want to, let's do this exercise. If I want to have design half of it using the same process.
Yeah.
Okay. There's the elegant way and not the one not so elegant.
Mhm.
So the one that is not elegant, I would create a version 2. Save as Netanya. SDProj sub area. Okay. And I will delete manually the inputs, right? So I will do this in my input layer building. I will select these ones,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Не трогай, не трогай. Будет
Delete.
долго, когда чисто ты выходишь и кирпич первый.
Okay.
Все, давай.
So let's see. And I'll run the project from the beginning, recalculate all the elements, but let's make sure that I deleted. You see, there are no these ones. So delete. Right. And I'm going to recalculate everything again. So I'm gonna delete elements. Delete elements. This is right click on the support, delete elements, okay? Plus, I'm gonna add the feeder part. So the feeder goes from here, from level 1 to 3, okay?
Mhm.
Сейчас как классе.
No, class in the center.
So right click, mark sphere. So this is how you define the feeder for the experts. So I need to recalculate my area. You see that now I have 429 points, and I run it again. And well, all of them are served. So you see now I have this area. Okay. And I save it as an SD project. So area. That's it. Sorry. This is. Oh yeah, it's already saved. So yeah, save it. And I keep this area. This is like a local copy of my project. This is a practical but not elegant, and the elegant way to do it, and that will serve you to run multiple projects. Yeah. Any question?
לא, הוא מראה לך שתי שיטות לעשות חישוב. עשית עכשיו פרויקט גדול, אתה רוצה עכשיו להריץ חלק. אז יש אופציה אחת לא אלגנטית, תמחוק הכל, תשאיר רק את הפרטים שאתה רוצה לחבר, תמחוק כל השאר, תמחוק את כל ההגדרות upstream, תריץ מחדש ויש לך חישוב חדש. זה לא אלגנטי. עכשיו הוא מסביר אלגנטי. שתי שיטות. בסדר? Let's go then.
Yeah. So this is this way, but the way I'm gonna show you now, it's, let's say, the way that you should follow. And this will allow you to understand why there are two types of files in Star, the config and the Star project. So imagine you have an area. This is Netanya, and let's gonna create our system. So I want to use. I'm gonna call this Netanya, right? And in Netanya, I have area 1, and I have area 2. Okay, so in my area 1, I'm gonna have my input folder as well as my area 2. And what I'm gonna do is with QGIS or any other tool, but with QGIS, I'm going to divide, could be my infrastructures. That's a good practice, but for the sake of the example, I'm gonna only take I'm gonna only select the endpoints, right? So I go here, input. I'm gonna select everything, copy, Netanya, paste. Okay. I'm gonna select the roads and building points too, right? Maybe here for having a reference. Okay. So this is area 1. My area 1 will be this part. So I'm gonna select building points. Right click, edit, delete, save. Okay. In my maybe, yeah, well, I'm not gonna save this. In my area 2, I'm gonna copy the same data, right? Netanya, area 2, input. Okay. I open QGIS again. I select net building points.
Building 2.
Building 2 point. Yeah, building 2 and aerial.
Okay.
And I'm going to delete the other ones.
Yes.
Okay, why can't we do that in settings?
Damn it.
No, طبعا
Yes, you can do it, but here I want to show you how to reuse the same config file for different areas. Would you like yes. Save. Forgot this one. Okay. Discovered. So I have 2 areas within Netanya.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy my config file with my rules. Copy. Paste. And paste here. And if I open my config file in start, so I'm gonna open it in the other screen. I have multiple licenses, so that's gonna work.
Not fair. This is not fair. We want to have the same.
That's a discussion with Alan. Alan will be very happy to have this discussion with you.
That's fine.
You see that if I have here it on the map, I have my area.
Yeah.
And I will apply the same rules. If I open area 2, you see I called it Netanya, but I could have called it rule 1, FCP 1, FDT, FCP 128, FDT 128.
Okay. Yes, this is how we do it, 8 by 8.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a rule. I could have tried 1, 2. Yeah. Okay, you see here,
Yeah.
I have on the map, sorry. I have this area.
Fantastic. Okay.
So what happens and why the config file is like a template for the rules? The name of the layers should be exactly the same. However, the content, the data content could be different. So you can reuse the same config file because this config file is gonna read the data that is located in the input folder as I configured it, right?
Right.
So I can imagine I can have all Netanya subdivided in 8 areas and use the same config file for different rules, run the project, save the outputs, and I have my data for every single area.
That's
See,
very, very cool.
it works with relative paths.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very suitable to the way we work. So
So I run it here. I run it here. That's the magic of having 2 licenses. So it's ready. Okay. Oh, I forgot to delete the antennas, but doesn't matter. Right. And you see I have my other area here.
Yes.
Another thing that you can even in the export should work because I have demo output. Yeah, I could have also added this in the config file.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya, this is which area? Area 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could have added in the output folder in the export these the creation of the automatic creation of the output folder. But well, you know, I could have added in my Netanya document file. Okay, export this, and this, for example, whatever, right? So you can also export this, and the same goes for this config file. Another thing that you can also do is to have, for example, a QGIS file with your own symbology located at this height in the, remember that QGIS also works with relative paths. So you can have a QGIS file, you can copy and paste it in the other output folder that you create here. And you will have the same symbology with the respective outputs of each sub area.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, you can do this as well. So what can happen is that I can have for a comparison. So you see, if I even if I save it, I won't keep this design because this is a config file, right? So I can do file, save as, area 1 as the project, save. And if I want to see one design produced by Star, or as I have started, modified, and everything, I need to open the SD project. The SD config is like a template.
Repeat, please.
The SD project is where I save my manual modifications or calculations made by the software.
Okay.
The SD config configuration file is like a template for the engineering rules.
Okay.
This is what I actually did.
Okay.
I copied.
So I can copy the engineering rules from Netanya and use data from Fachem. And
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. And I'm gonna do something. This is my Netanya config. But I'm gonna create another. This is already saved. I'm gonna create another configuration. I'm gonna change from 1 to 16 to 1 to 8 to 1 to 16, for example.
Okay. And 1 to 4, the previous one.
Yes. Save as, and I have config file, Netanya, rule 2. I'm gonna call it like this. You see that now I have two rules, config file. I can have as many as I want with different rules, and I can apply on the same data and the same endpoints different engineering rules to make a decision, for example.
No. יש לך קונפיג, זה configuration file, יש נתניה ונתניה rule 2. נתניה rule 1, 8 by 8. נתניה rule 2, 8 by 16. לא, נתניה input אותו דבר, אתה פעם אחת מריץ את זה ככה, אתה רואה מה יוצא, מריץ ככה, אז אתה יכול לעשות אופטימיזציה ולראות איפה יותר כדאי. תסתכל ככה. כן, כן, כן. יופי, good.
Right? So this is how you can.
That's the elegant way. Okay, understood.
It's very elegant.
Indeed, right? So that means that you can have a robust config file with some rules and apply it in several areas, and you don't need to do it twice or 3 times or whatever. Important thing: the name of the layer should be exactly the same, although the content might be different.
So the layers that you show here, like building point 2, will be always building point 2. It doesn't matter which country, which city we use.
Yes.
Exactly, because Star works with relative paths. Star looks for the layer building points shapefile that is located within the input folder within area 2 or whatever.
But I can decide the name, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but then it should repeat itself all the time.
Daniel?
Yes.
Is this, I mean, this is not hard-coded building points too. We can decide that we call it
Yeah.
Maison Kaiser 2, and it will be okay as long as we keep the same name.
Buildings.
Yeah.
Although the shapefile, the input data, it's called building points too, because that's the name I put.
You gave it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we use buildings or building points, then it's fine. As long
It's
as
fine.
we keep the names.
Exactly, it's fine. This is how in my config file for the Netanya rule 2, this is going to, let's call it buildings. Right? You see that now it's called buildings. In any case, the source layer is this one.
Okay.
Right, so we need to keep the names of the folders are important.
Names of folders,
Yes.
names of files. תמיד אותו דבר.
Yeah.
שעושים את זה. אז אתה שומע, אז יש לך את הטמפלט שאתה יכול לרוץ.
אתה רק מעתיק את ה...
For example, if you want to answer, imagine you have an area, you have an RFP, and you need to run an area with, I don't know, 30K premises. You can divide it in area 1, area 2, each one of 5Ks, five points, for example, whatever, and run the same configuration with the same rules and for every single folder, right? And that will save a lot of time.
Okay,
Okay.
good. So very elegant. Can we have a coffee break?
Indeed, yeah, of course.
How are we in terms of the syllabus for today? Have we covered everything or we still have something open?
Can you repeat? Hi.
How are we in terms of the plan for today's training day?
Well, with the plan, I think we're fine. Maybe well, it's flexible. I might only show you the configuration I used for the neighborhood 28 or 29. But if you want to stop here and do it in another session, the areas, that's fine. If you think it's too dense, what you've learned.
It's not dense, but people here are asking for a coffee break.
Okay.
So 10 minutes,
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Sure. Okay, perfect.
All
So
right.
see you in 10 minutes.
Thank you.